This is Thoughts Become Things. With each episode, we'll help you reach the highest creative potential that God has for you. With your host, a teacher, life coach, a dream coach, and motivational speaker, Jeremy Lopez.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting podcast of Thoughts Become Things. This is Jeremy Lopez, and I'm thrilled and honored you guys decided to join with me again today in this amazing adventure we call spirituality, this amazing adventure we call Christianity, to really begin to understand and really unfold the beauty of the scriptures of God and the beauty of life and the power that God gives us and just the amazing thing that He died to give us, which is life and life more abundantly, which me and you, we are excited to live. Every day we get a chance to choose and decide what we want, and every day we get a chance to really choose the life in which He's died to give us. And so I'm honored and thrilled for that within my life. How about you? So today I'm not going to keep you guys real long today, but I want to talk to you guys basically about, did you forget your power? Did you forget your power? I woke up this morning and I was thinking about some stuff concerning the podcast today and just the ministry and different things, writing books and different things, pondering on that kind of stuff of where I am in my life right now, what I need to incorporate more of, thinking what do I need to sort of write on. And so you go through that daily grind every day, and of always projecting outwardly, always sort of what's inside of you, you want to get out. What's inside of you, you want to get out. And that's really the name of the game, is it not, of life? And that is whatever you know that God has put inside of you, you want to be able to get it out of you. And the reason why is because, we look at, the super attractors, I call it, or the law of attraction. We realize that, we do attract into our lives exactly what it is that we think and what it is that we are, what it is that we're discovering about us. We begin to sort of bring that magnet into our lives and attract more of the same thing. Everything in creation boils down to that, is it attracts to the likeness of what it is, looking for. And so whatever it is in your life that you're looking for, you're going to find it. When the Bible says, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open, it's that type of power to understand first and foremost that we have this amazing ability every day that we can choose. I remember being in Alberta, Canada just last weekend, matter of fact, ministering, and one of the things I share with them is the power to choose is so amazing. It's so powerful. Knowing that we can begin to look and say, I have the right to ask, I have the right to seek, and I have the right to begin to knock. And these three elements have been given to every single human on this planet, that we can begin to initiate and engage in the power of choice and the power of decision and the power of really what it is in my life that I want. And so today I want to talk to you guys about basically, did you forget your power? Because I think a lot of times we go through the daily grind every day. We go through the seasons, the time frames of really looking at, I got to pay my bills today. I wake up in this, pretty home, or, the house of my dreams I want to live in, or the nice car I have, or the car I'd like to have, or the job I wish I had, or going to a deadbeat job, or going to the job of my dreams. No matter what the case may be, negative or positive, I think sometimes we forget to really look and analyze in our lives that not only do we have a choice of power, but we also have a power. So it's not about just making a decision, but we're forgetting that we have this amazing power and ability that's been given to us. One thing I love about the New Testament is it says, greater works shall you do. Because Jesus went to the Father and He basically gave us the Holy Spirit, and He's incorporated within us that power, the ability to begin to have the indwelling, infusion of God's energy, that we can begin to utilize it. We can cast down things we need to cast down, raise up things that need to be raised up. We have keys in the spirit realm and the natural realm. We have really everything. And as many of you know, my favorite powerful scripture I use all the time is, that God has already given us all things that pertain to life and godliness. And that means that in any and every area of your life, you have a power. And today I wanted to sort of bring that to your attention, bring it to your awareness. It's not just about attracting sometimes, it's not just about always focusing on the fact that, what is I'm putting out there that I can attract more of in my life. And that's powerful, and we have to do that every day. We have to. It's not even a decision. We really need to, because we don't want our lives on autopilot. We want to be able to make proper decisions based on the desire of our heart of what it is we're looking for, what we want out of God's will. And so we get that, do we not? But I think sometimes even within the power of attracting, we tend to forget this amazing thing called just power. I thought about the book of Acts the other day when I was thinking about when they're all in unity and one accord, and how the Spirit of God came in, the tongues of fire, they all started speaking in tongues and all this other stuff. And I got to thinking about the fact that God sovereignly gives us power. He not only gives us the right to choose as far as this day, we want, ask, seek, and knock, but then He puts this magnetism in every one of us, as human beings, and says, now, you think it, and you're going to attract it. You think it, you're going to draw it. There's going to be a mirroring effect of subconsciously what you see about yourself, bad or good, low self-esteem, good self-esteem, whatever, you're still going to draw that into your world. And so let everything be a mirroring effect. Think about it, ponder on it, learn from it, and decide and discover why things are in your life, good, bad, and ugly. And let it be a reflection of yourself. I mean, that alone, folks, is powerful. That alone is so powerful to think that God is letting us know that we mirror creation. We mirror everything around us that is in our world. And what is that speaking to us about? What is it letting us know that needs to change? What is it letting us know about what's wrong with us that maybe we just tend to overlook? We don't see. It's good to say we see the good sometimes about us, but the truth is we never tend to see our shortcomings. We never tend to see the bad in us that we need to, really work on. And why? Because we don't want to focus on the bad, right? We don't want to focus on the bad things, so we don't want to attract more of that. But the truth is, it's not about you thinking. It's about knowing that if your self-esteem is so low and you know how you see yourself, you're going to attract it anyway. You don't even have to ponder on it. You don't have to think about it because it's already in the reflection of the mirror in your heart about yourself. So the reflection that's in your heart is the most important thing. You can bypass your mind and say, I'm not going to think about it today. I'm going to think on positive things. And that's going to be great. But until you deal with the root of your problem, until you go deep into the heart of God and really discover that deep calleth unto deep, and then get into the heart of yourself and see if it's mirroring that heart. Because if it's not, no wonder why you're attracting things in your life you don't want. You're still mirroring the things out of the brokenness and the hurt and the wounds and the things of your heart that need to heal. A healed heart, for example, is not just sort of for you being nice to people. It's also for the fact that you deserve to be healed and you deserve to be able to draw into your world and attract into your world the very things that you know you want to attract that would help boost that self-esteem. But you got to deal with the root first. Root issues are the most vitally important things of creation because everything starts with the root. Think about it. Plants do. Trees do. We do. There's a root inside of us of God's Spirit. There's a root inside of us also of what we create on the side and what other people instill in us, and then we create out of that hurt and woundedness that they try to project towards us. So it's not the fact that they hurt us. Think of it this way. It's not the fact someone hurt you. It's the fact you allowed them to hurt you. In other words, you allow their words to get to you. Because if I was to sit here and call you a really bad, horrible name, there's some of you on this podcast that might be a little weak right now, and you might say, please don't call me that, and it might wound you and hurt you more. But there's others on here that can look and say it's like water off a duck's back, which means it just rolls right off because they know who they are. It's not a big deal. And that's where you understand that some people just build that resistance to know and understand that I just don't want it to grow in me, because the moment I receive that word, the moment I receive the thing you said about me, then my creative powers in me will automatically start creating more of that thing. And I'll start having more hurt and wound in my life. So the truth is, can really someone hurt you with the words? No, not one bit. Not one bit. We have to learn to train ourselves to know how to tune things out and not allow it to go into the imagination. Not allow it to get into the heart. Because once it does, guess what? You're going to start attracting more of that same thing. And that's not healthy for any of us. No one wants to do that. So the truth is, we've got to begin to look at our lives and realize how much brokenness is in us. What is the root cause of why my life is still continuing the same deadbeat path over and over and over again, day after day? But then we have to realize, wait a minute, hold on. Can I really deal with that kind of stuff? Can I really deal with all the pain, the hurts, the wounds of my life? Can I really deal with everything that my past held, that I was embarrassed by, that I did, I knew I shouldn't have done it, or even the things I did that I knew what I was doing, but I was just too ignorant at the time to recognize that? Even through all of that, there's still something that I want to bring to your attention, and that is, you are powerful. You have power to defeat that. You have power to cast it down. You have power that can change the world. But more importantly, I'm not out to change the entire world. I'm out to change my world. My world of people I can affect, and people that I know I can have a persuasion with, because they see me as maybe a good brother, a good sister in your case, or maybe a good friend, a good father, a good son, whatever the case may be. It's my world I want to affect, because that's the power God's given me in my sphere of influence, that metron word. And that's really what I want you to come away with today, walk away with, is realizing if you're so in the daily grind of life and you're so busy trying to attract, or maybe you're busy with work, or you're busy with your wife or your kids or whatever, take some time out for you to say, wait a minute, you know what? I forgot I'm powerful. I forgot I've got power to change my own life, my own existence. I have the power to change it. When you look at women and you think, or men, for example, that say, I want to dye my hair. They go to a beauty shop, beauty salon, they dye their hair, they get their hair cut, they curl their hair, they get makeup on, whatever the case may be. They lose weight, gain weight, whatever it is for you as a man or a woman. Think of it this way. You're creating that. Anything you've done yourself naturally outside that you can see in the mirror, all that you are fixing up or maybe unfixing or whatever you want to call it, the truth is you created that out of beauty. You created it because you knew there's something of an image in you that you knew you could feel better about yourself. You could look better about yourself. You can look really good about yourself because there's an image that if I just did this, if I just did that, it would make me look so much better. And you created that. There's nothing wrong with coming to the realization that you created that, because no one forced you to get your hair cut. The truth is you created the idea, the mentality that if I do this, this, and this, and this, and go here and go and talk to this person, I can get my hair cut. You helped co-create with someone else that power of the image you saw about yourself becoming. And so, with that said, do we have the power in us to do anything? Yes. Absolutely. We have the power to do anything. And sometimes that power might not feel like it's really strong in us, but it is. Sometimes you might feel like, I'm struggling with sickness, and you just don't know what to do sometimes. Wake up to the fact that you have power in you, and that power can help you to feel better. That power can get you to the place of joy. And the truth is, sometimes, folks, things in life are just dealt to us, and we can say, did I attract this? Am I reaping what I sowed? What is the deal? Sometimes I tell people this. A lot of times I tell people this. Don't focus so much on how, when, where, and why. Don't focus so much of how this happened to me. Focus on the fact that it happened to you regardless. Because the truth is the energy going to be prevalent, and strong in you if you really discover how you did it? Not really. But when you realize, wait a minute, it's here. It's here right now in my life. Don't care how it happened, it's here. And then you can be able to walk through the journey of eliminating it, eradicating it, and then you can backtrack and say, now how did that get in my life to begin with? Because you want to be able to first and foremost deal with the important issues of life, not trying to figure out how this happened. What's the name of this demon? I was in Canada talking to some friends of mine, and these amazing women, and one of the things I mentioned to them, we were talking about is, who cares what a demon's name is? Who cares what's this and what's that? I really don't care. What I care, how this happened to me in my life. I didn't deserve this. Why is this happening to me? The truth is, I don't really care about that kind of stuff, because I understand the power of what will produce and what will not produce, and there's no productivity in those kind of statements whatsoever. So I have to awaken to the fact that I am powerful, and knowing that I'm powerful, I can learn from what I'm dealing with, and I can begin to have the power to decide and choose: do I want to cast this down, cast it out of my life, empower myself with it, because I am a powerful being. And that's what you have to understand. Even with Jesus saying, look, he raised the dead, he healed the sick, went about doing good towards people, you realize he wanted to change his world. He wanted to change his world for the message he had. And then sometimes we forget that, how do I change the world with the message I have? You have to use your power. People in creation want to see power. They want to know what power is all about. They want to know, is it harmful? Is it good? Does it create? Does it not create? Where do I get it from? The truth is, you don't have to remember any of that stuff. Just begin to create today and say, I am powerful. How can I use my power today for the good of people, the good of God, and the good of myself? And when you do that every day, you start realizing that the daily grind that I'm used to living in, it's not just that. It's not important to me anymore. It doesn't really matter, because whatever comes my way today, whether I attracted it, didn't attract it, whatever, reaping what I sowed, whatever, who did this to me, whatever, I did this to me, whoever, whatever. The moment you awaken to the fact, I have the ability to change this situation, something just raises up in you, and when it does, it rises to a place of just such strength to say, I can change this. situation. I can overcome this situation because I'm already overcomer of it. So all I got to do now is use my power to change it, deviate it into a different place. And so I wanted to sort of leave today that with you, to realize whatever you do in your life, never forget you're powerful. Never forget you got power to change things, much as change yourself. Never forget that it's not the end of the road because someone said it's the end of the road. It's the end of the road because you decide that it's the end of the road. Never let other people tell you, here comes an obstacle. You decide for yourself if something's going to be an obstacle for you or not. Because you know what works for one might not work for another. Sometimes people can scare us to death and say, oh, this is what you're going to have to look forward to. I've been there. But you know what? You got to realize something. Your feelings are going to be totally different from their feelings of what they felt when they went through a situation. You know, your response is going to be different from their response of how they dealt with it. And in fact, you never know really what's fashionably you, what you like versus what you don't like. And if something of a bad connotation comes to you and all of a sudden people are telling you, oh God, here it comes, watch out. You never know. Maybe you're walking away from it and saying, it actually wasn't that bad at all. Or maybe I learned from it and it went quickly from me. You got to quit listening to the people and realize I'm using my power for this situation. I'm going to use my power for this situation because that's the only power I know is what I have. And I don't ever want to forget the power I have. Remember the story of Peter Pan. He forgot how to fly in the movie Hook. Hook was the movie that came, it was a sequel that came after the old traditional, storyline of Peter Pan, and yet they made it to where he grew up and he forgot his power. He forgot who he was. He forgot he knew how to fly. And that story speaks so much volume to me to realize that, you know what, I don't need to forget the fact I can fly. I don't need to forget the fact that I have power. I don't want to forget the fact that I can change my life. I don't have to put up with everything in my life that's going on. I don't have to put up with mean-spirited people. I don't have to deal with a job I don't like. I don't have to deal with an abusive spouse. I don't have to deal with, someone telling me, you guys are never going to have kids. Your wife's never going to have to do this. Your husband's never going to do that. I don't have to put up with any of that stuff. Because I can look and take a deep breath and say, I have been given great power. And with great power comes great responsibility. And with that responsibility, I'm going to choose today what it is that's going to be healthy for me. And I can change my life around for the better and the empowerment of myself and for the people. So today, folks, never forget you have power in you. And only you know how to use that power. No one can take your power away from you unless you will it to forget about it. Or you will it to them in a place of feeling as if they know more than you, they're better than you. Don't ever come to that place. Realize that you have this amazing ability of power in you right now. And that ability is what God has given you to use today. So walk away today and realize I'm powerful. I'm powerful. Thank you, God. I'm powerful. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in again to this podcast. We so bless and honor each and every one of you, and I'm so thrilled and honored once again to have every one of you in my life as family, friends, customers, clients. You guys are family to me. And so anything we can ever talk about and speak about in a podcast, hey, send some questions to us in customer service. We would love to be able to answer your questions. I'll gladly read your question over the air. I won't say your name if you don't want me to, and I'll gladly answer any questions you have because I want to be here for you guys. It's not about Q&A because I have all the answers and you have only questions. It's about Q&D. Discussion time is beautiful and brilliant for those who have questions. And I'd love to discuss that with you. And, maybe during the podcast, even though we can't really have your voice on here right now, I can discuss it and tell you what I'm sensing and what I feel. And that way I'll give you some different angles and choices for you to be able to be empowered, for you to make your decision based on your own uniqueness and how God has initiated you to answer and to walk in your life. So thank you again, as always, guys, for being a part of my life in this ministry. We really are fed by you guys buying our books and ebooks. My staff puts ebooks on there every day and books on there every day. I'm, trying my hardest to get as many books out of myself and ebooks and audio teachings because I want you guys to be empowered with some teachings so where you can make your own decisions based on maybe someone else's revelation to where you can cultivate your own revelation. That's how life should be. So thank you again for helping support us financially and prayerfully. You guys rock. You're awesome. Till next week, go and create what God has put in your heart to create. God bless.
This has been the Thoughts Become Things podcast with Jeremy Lopez, helping you reach your highest creative potential that God has for you. For more episodes, products, and information on Jeremy, visit www.identitynetwork.net.